Welcome back to Visionary Ventures, the Kalbustani podcast. Today, we're diving into the world of architecture and entrepreneurship with Sara Mardini, a dynamic architect who has carved a niche in Qatar's architectural landscape. After a bold transition from employment to launching her own firm, Sara now leads a team dedicated to designing residential villas and is poised to expand her business across regional markets. Join us as we explore the intricacies of building an architecture business from the ground up and what it takes to thrive in this competitive industry. So, first of all, thanks so much, Sarah, for joining me on the fourth episode of Visionary Ventures. I'm very pleased to see you again and to discuss with you your journey.
Thank you, Awashi, for inviting me. And I also, before we start speaking about myself and my business, I also want to say that I'm really happy for you on this new podcast, Mardini. And I hope I can see that it will work out for you. So good luck, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Thanks so much, Sarah. It's a pleasure to reconnect with you. So basically, we were university friends, and I know you since some time ago when we were younger. Yeah, and I've been watching your journey, and I've seen you transitioning out of a stable job, then into freelancing a bit. You started posting some projects, etc., and eventually you founded your own firm, and that must have been a monumental shift. So could you describe the emotional and mental journey you experienced during these initial stages?
Okay. So when I the past few months, at least the past 6 months, as my previous job, I was very unhappy for several reasons. It doesn't matter now, but I was very unhappy and I didn't have a plan B. I really didn't know what to do next. I didn't have, there was nothing for me, there was nothing clear set up.
Yeah.
So some things happened at the time and I just randomly quit without really, like I said, without a plan B. I quit and I just took a month off. And at the time, I remember I would tell myself that I'm so happy, I'm so relaxed, I'm happy to be without not doing anything. But essentially, of course, I was worried and I was thinking what's going to be next. I had no clue. So I took a month off.
So it was like a reset.
It was a reset, definitely. And it was I was stuck in an unknown state, because in my head, I'm like, should I apply for something else? Should I just do my own thing? No clue. So then I traveled, then I came back to Qatar. And then randomly, this person whom I know asked me to do like a tiny little task or project for their company. So I did that project as a freelancer, and that's how I started becoming a freelancer. And then here and there, some people started coming to me and asking me for it without me really chasing it. So when I saw that, I don't know how, it kind of went after me instead of me going after it. I started taking it more seriously. And then, with time, maybe 6 months later, I started the business and we took out a small office. It was just me at the time, obviously. And then now we're still a small team, but we've been expanding. It's been 2.5 years, I think.
Okay, awesome. We're gonna get to the specifics of the business in few.
Okay.
Just before I ask you the second question, can you please just lower a bit the volume coming out of your laptop because I'm hearing a bit of echo in the back. So, Sarah, entrepreneurship often involves significant risk and uncertainty. How did you mentally prepare for and manage these challenges, especially at the early days of you setting up your business? Because, okay, you didn't really plan it. You were kind of resetting your career after a while of corporate jobs. And then you did this. I want to know more about the mental work, uncertainties, what was going on in Sarah's mind.
So first of all, I think I would say the first 3 or 4 months, I had zero income, which, if you live in the Gulf,
Yeah.
it's expensive. Living in the Gulf is very expensive. You really can't not have an income. So that was terrifying for me. And then slowly it started changing, of course. So that alone was very scary. I think for most people starting out, this is a big part of it. Like, what if I don't make it? What if it's hard to not
To have an income.
income coming in. So there was definitely that. And then the second major thing for me was, what if I quit? Basically, it was a good job. It was not an amazing job, but I quit a good job to fail. Like, it was it was a thought in my head for sure. But like I said, those fears, like the initial fears, were very short-lived for me, because I really, I think I've been blessed, I guess, because things started working out very quickly.
Okay.
And so when they started working out, it was very quick progress, a lot of projects coming in, a lot of clients, and then with time it became even higher end clients. So it really worked out the way, even more than I wanted to, and hopefully even more in the future. But even till, of course, even till now, with all of the kind of, I won't call it success, but kind of progress that I've seen, I'm still worried every single day. I don't know if this is normal or if it's just me. Maybe I'm an overthinker. I'm still worried every single day.
Yeah, I can tell you from personal experience that the worries will still be there at all stages. Okay, I'm not at an extreme advanced stage in my career and business, but I've been doing it for more than 4 years now, and I can tell you that as you grow, your worries will grow as well.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
So I want to know more about you dealing with failure because it's a part of growing any business, basically. So can you share a time when things like didn't go as planned and how you mentally bounced back from that experience?
I'm trying to think of a specific time where there was failure, but I will say there were several like small failures rather than a big one, thankfully. Like small failures, like I would say, as a line feel, sorry.
Lessons.
Yeah, exactly. It's a sure lesson. First of all, when I was like still kind of registering my company and all the legal things, the accounting, all that, I really messed up a few of those things at the start because I was doing it by myself. I'm sure everyone, maybe they do it by themselves, but for me, it was difficult, to be honest. I don't come from a business background. I come from a purely design background, and I had to like teach myself other things.
Understand.
So that was kind of at the start, it slowed me down a lot. And then even later on, dealing with employees, it was tough at the start because I was an employee a couple of years ago myself, and now I have to like help people, like tell them how to do stuff, tell them what to do, fix their kind of schedules, their tasks, whatever, you know. So there's definitely like that, also small failures in that sense. And then I would say the one that hurts me the most, the failures that hurt me the most is when, let's say, I lose a client, or I submit a project that's not really up to 100% what the client wants. Design is very subjective, and you try as much as you can to like hit the target, but there will be some issues here and there. And thankfully, it's not been a lot of issues. But even if, from being the person that I am and having my type of personality, even a tiny failure, it really breaks my heart. So, but it's doing okay. It's a learning curve.
I can tell you one thing, not trying to sugarcoat it or something, but from what I'm hearing is these are not failures, Sarah. These are basically lessons and basic changes, and you'll have to. It's not a straightforward journey, and businesses and how we build them from ground up without really going on into funding and building a huge corporation and stuff like that. You'll have to figure out every single step and aspect by your own. Like you said, you didn't know the processes, all these corporate incorporations, files, etc. So, yeah, that was a huge learning curve for me in France, actually, when I discovered the bureaucracy and what it takes for you to really have a company in Europe. Yeah, that was uh, in
I'm
comparison
sure it's even more complicated in Europe.
in comparison to the GCC, to the Gulf, nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's huge. So, um, let's go back to some mental work and what kind of strategies do you employ to maintain a clear and focused mindset? Like you have all these responsibilities, pressures, you're running your own firm. Do you have any like, I don't know, do you exercise any stuff just to keep going, just to stay resilient?
So first of all, I definitely exercise. I work out at least
Not physically, mentally.
But you know what? Working out really helps out mentally. I'm sure everyone knows that, and I insist on it. I work out as much as I can, almost every day, because it's a pressure reliever. I also don't believe in the no sleep club thing. I need a lot of sleep. But I need like hours. I wake up cranky. I can't focus. You know. And I'm someone who's kind of a workaholic. Not really a workaholic, but I need to finish all of my targets. So if I have a target for the day, I'm gonna work morning, night, whatever. And obviously, when you're the owner or when you're the entrepreneur, you have to do that. But when you're an employee, you don't really have to. You just work till 5 p.m., you close and you leave. So at first, it was also kind of annoying for me to kind of whenever someone from the team just stopped working at 5, in my head, I was at first I was like, why are they like we're not done? Why are they stopping? Then I had to like, okay, relax. They don't care. They don't really care about us like you do. So yeah, it's definitely stressful. But I also, what else do I do? I think I try to keep a balance every single day, honestly. So if I work a lot today, from morning till night, which is something that I normally would do, like I would go extreme one day, the next day I would kind of take it easy and mostly delegate. So I try to balance it this way. I don't think I'm capable of being a normal like person that works from 9 a.m. till 5 and then I stop. Either I'm working all day full time, fully focused, or I'm kind of more relaxed during my day. I think it works for me. I don't know if it would work for a lot of people, but for me, it's like a reward. So yesterday I worked a lot. Today I can just kind of calm down.
Interesting. And yeah, I believe in balance in everything in life, especially in the business world. So you were mentioning a lot of physical exercises and you keeping up with the activities and stuff. What do you do to really ensure that your physical health supports your professional activities? Like, do you do specific type of workouts or is it just stress release? What do you do?
Mostly I work out at the gym. I do it's mostly weights and like, kind of something that I feel like it's hard work. That's better for me than cardio. I think cardio is it's too boring for me. I could never get into it. I don't think I really like it. But yeah. mostly endurance, weight, that kind of. I like it workouts as well. I have very fast-paced person. I don't have a lot of patience, so anything that requires patience,
Yeah.
like yoga, let's say, I can't do that.
Yoga teaches you patience, basically. That's how I am learning patience. But now I'm not really practicing, but there's a type of yoga called Yin yoga. And this is where I started learning patience. It's still a work in progress. I'm someone that is like zero patient. So, yeah. Would you say that, I don't know, did you encounter any challenges, like any health challenge that were like a cause of your business journey in your entrepreneurial journey? Did it affect any aspect of your health?
If you ask people around me, they would say that there's a lot of periods where I'm very stressed out and it shows. It shows, first of all, in my face, like under my eyes. I genetically, I have like puffy eyes now. Now I don't have them, but genetically, I have them when I'm stressed. So definitely it shows in my face. And more importantly, it shows like the way I talk to people. I'm very, I get a bit cranky and like you know how you are when you're stressed, you're not really thinking of other people.
Yeah.
So it definitely affects my mood a lot. And one tiny mistake or issue that happens at work, it really like it kind of ruins my mood for the day. In my head, I when something like that happens, I'm always like, I just want to go to bed and wake up tomorrow. It's a new day, fresh start. So it's not a great thing. I mean, stress is the worst.
So you try to avoid the problem?
I don't avoid the problem. I deal with the problem itself, but I try to avoid kind of the emotions that come with it and the stress and the mental things. I just want to like end it and move forward quickly. I'm not a very emotional person, so whenever these things happen, I dislike dealing with it.
Okay, cool. Okay, fine. So let's move on to something more into let's call it spiritual, like on a kind of level. How does your work as an architect fulfill you on a spiritual or personal level? What does architecture mean for Sarah?
Honestly, I feel like I really, really love it. I can't think of anything else I would rather do. And even though it gets so difficult and annoying sometimes, and dealing with people on a daily basis is not something, it's not something that I'm originally strong at. I've not always been a people person. But you learn, you have to do certain things. So, but yeah, even with all of that, it's something that I really seeing one of my projects come to life. It makes me so happy. It's like you created something from scratch. It's really nice. And yeah, I I can't think of anything else I would rather do, to be honest. It's very fulfilling.
Nice.
I think most creative fields are very fulfilling. I don't know at all about other fields, but I know for a fact that when you create something from scratch, whatever this thing is, whether it's design or anything else, it definitely feels like something close to your heart.
Yeah, I can relate to that. Not in
Sure.
basic design, but in the whole building brands, building businesses,
Exactly.
and how to craft something from grounds up, and you see the rewards after it. It's amazing. But are there any philosophies or beliefs that influence your approach to design and business? Are they like interconnected in any way or not really?
Philosophies. I would say I'm an all-in kind of person. So I'm very, go hard or go home, basically, with everything that I do. That is kind of, I don't know if it's a philosophy, but that's one of the things
Because
that's always been in my head since I was even a kid. So I would rather not do something if it's going to turn out bad or average. I don't like that, you know? And I'm sure some of our previous work, now I look back and I see it as average because it's like old work.
But it has evolved, that's
So
all.
it served its purpose and it was the best that I could or we could do. But yeah, definitely I'm someone that's always growing. And I like I try to make sure the people around me, at least the team around me, is also kind of like me to a certain extent. So now, for example, with AI and everything, you know, it's it's not, I wouldn't say it's taking over the design field. I think it's kind of helping right now. In the future, I don't know if it's completely taking over or not. But so for example, as soon as AI started becoming a thing, I made sure to like completely understand it, see how we can use it for our business, for our at least conceptual, like the early stages of design, you know. So that's an example of like whereas I know a lot of people are using AI, lots of talented designers are, uh, but a lot are also not using it and refuse to kind of learn it. So for me, I'm always like looking ahead. I love anything like related to. I won't use the word futuristic, but anything like related to the future, and in the sense of, you know, something that you need to know in order to be part of the stream. So so yeah, I'm a very all-in kind of person. I'm a very look ahead kind of person. So I would say that kind of my thinking.
Nice. So, in moments of professional doubt or difficulty, are there any spiritual practices or perspectives that you turn for guidance or reassurance?
I don't know if you would call it. First of all, I'm a kind of a religious person. Not kind of, I am a religious person. So
It's okay.
prayer has always been something very important for me. And I
Nice.
think I always like to tell myself that God kind of really opened up doors for me in a way that was unexpected. And so that's always been my mentality as well. Always great. You know, I try to thank God every single day, to be honest. Um, I'm very I try to like have that kind of mentality and relationship with religion because I feel like it opened doors for me when I was starting out, when I was, you know, really like praying that I hope this thing works, I hope this thing is what's meant for me, you know. And it turns out it was, so I have to be grateful.
It is. Would you really call it like, okay, you were praying and you were hoping? Was it really hoping, asking, or is it more asserting and defining that, yeah, I'm going there? Which mindset did you have?
I think that whatever you believe in, whether it's God or the universe or whatever, I think the thing that you believe in will only help you if you help yourself. So I was never just sitting around in my room crying, please, God. Like, no, it's not like that. I was always like out hustling, trying to do stuff, networking, going to events, whatever. And I think because I was already like pushing myself to do things, yes, things happened easier than I think it would happen for maybe others. Things fell into place quickly and easily for me. But I think it's like I said, because I was hustling for it, and at the same time, the universe or God or whatever you believe in kind of pushed me. It was both at the same time.
Interesting approach. I like it. So, talking a bit about SMAD, Sara Mardini architecture design, I'm intrigued to know a bit about your marketing approach. Can be a bit challenging in the field of architecture, and you have a niche audience. So, what unique marketing strategies have you developed or trying to showcase your firm in in a different way? Or
So first of all, I don't know if you're very familiar with the Qatar market. Qatar is kind of a small market. It's not, it's competitive for sure. There is talent here, but if you're talented, it's easier to kind of stand out from the rest. So that's always been a blessing for me, living kind of in a small place where it's easy. Like if you do a really good project, by word of mouth, it just spreads. And that initially, that even till now, that's been the most helpful marketing tool for me. I had so many repeat clients. I've had so many clients that are like, this was my cousin, this was my brother's sister, whatever. So that's mostly been how work has come to me. And then I think a lot of other clients started gravitating towards our company more as they saw, some progress, some real like concrete work that's been done outside. Um, I kind of understand it. You're more inclined to reach out to someone once you know that they've been kind of steady in the market, because a lot of people come and go. So that's also been something. Definitely, I think social media marketing is always good, but I never really depended on it for clients. I depend on it maybe just for exposure, a bit of exposure. It's always good to have that as well. You want to have it with everything. It's not really always just about clients. It's always good to kind of feel like you're exposed to a lot of people, whether they're in Qatar or outside. And also, whenever we participate in certain events or kind of like networking events or whatever, that's always been a really good exposure for us too. Like last year when we participated in the Index event in Dubai, that was even both for the social media and client-wise, that was really good for our company. We got several new clients from Index alone, and obviously like for the Instagram, for all that, the LinkedIn, whatever. And they invited us to participate again this year. So we're excited about that next week. So yeah, mostly it's been that. And I guess I have to be thankful that Qatar is a tiny market, or not really tiny, but smaller than other places. But I definitely am looking forward, and actually am working on expanding to some neighboring places. We've already done small projects here and there, and a small project in Dubai, a project in Oman, a villa. So we've been working on other countries slowly. But yeah, I'm excited about that as the next step for sure.
so you're testing the waters in the neighboring countries. Nice. Okay.
I'm testing the
Yeah, you
waters.
should. You should.
I'm excited, to expand to something new.
You should. Don't keep those expertise only for the Qatari market.
No.
Although it's a nice market, but yeah, you have more potential across the Middle East. But I can tell you that your main focus should be and remain the Middle East region for the next at least 10, 20 years. So you're good. You're in a good place. But I never asked you actually, why Qatar?
So my family lives in Qatar. My dad originally lived in Qatar. So when I graduated in Lebanon, I just came straight here. I never even tried to look for work at the time in Lebanon because I just didn't think I would find anything. And it was just it was an easy transition, when you already have someone in the country, it's easy to do that transition. So yeah, and then I thought it was gonna be 1 year, to be honest, 1 year until I figure it out, or maybe go for my master's or like do something different. But I was stuck here, and here we are.
Yeah, it's never a 1 year.
Yeah, I'm sure you can relate.
Yeah, after changing two different countries, yeah, I know the drill. So, talking a bit more about your marketing, I know you're not really utilizing the channels, the strategy, it's word of mouth, referrals, etc. But how can SMAD differentiate itself in the marketplace, not talking only in Qatar, maybe in the whole region?
So I think my goal for the last 2 quarters of the year is to go more into. I definitely never want to completely leave the residential field, because I feel like it's our specialty now, and I really like it more than I like other fields in the design world. So I definitely want to stick to that. However, I really want to kind of push it forward. So more get more involved with the new technology that's out. If you try to stay up to date with the new tech, the new materials, AI, all of that, it's not easy. Honestly, it's not easy because there's so much happening. Uh,
Every day,
the only I would say a good thing about architecture specifically is that architecture is kind of slower to adapt to new things. So it's not like the marketing field or the graphic design field or all that, where you're quick to kind of start adapting to new software, new techniques, whatever. Architecture usually is a bit slower. We kind of take our time, think about it properly, so that's kind of an advantage, I guess. But yeah, I think just focusing on that for the upcoming, a lot of our work here in Qatar has been more, let's say, between neoclassic and modern, whereas projects that we've done outside of Qatar have been much more contemporary, much more minimal, all that. So in architecture, that's definitely the last update to architectural design that's happened, and I definitely want to focus more on that now. So that's where I'm at.
Nice. You've been talking a lot about AI, and you mentioned AI and new technologies a couple of times. What are you exactly doing with AI? How are you utilizing the technology advancement in your architecture firm?
So right now, mostly, well, I don't want to give too much of our secrets, but mostly,
No secret sauces.
no, but mostly it's we use AI a lot in our conceptual design. So conceptual design is the thing that we do at the start whenever we're kind of still in deliberation with the client, discussing, like a client comes up to me, whenever we want a villa, blah, blah, blah. Let's say we're talking about their living room now. I imagine my living room to be like this, like this, like that. So in these early stages, when you use AI, it kind of helps the client to quickly see, yeah, this is kind of what I'm looking for. No, this is not what I'm looking for, whatever. Because, design is something that takes, especially architectural and interior design, it takes time. It takes at least a few months to
And
finish.
it's purely customized.
It's purely customized, and it takes a few months to fully finalize the project. So, sometimes you don't want to just tell the client to wait 3 months and then we'll see if we hit the target or not. So this has been good for us to kind of quickly, almost on the spot, produce results for them. And it's never AI is still kind of it's been there for a while, but it's still kind of a new technology. So I wouldn't say it's very accurate still.
We're having the distorted windows and the different
Kind of, yeah.
distorted shades. And that's fine.
Yeah.
But I really like your
It's
approach
really good.
to like you're using it in a proper way, and from what I'm hearing and understanding, it's helping you close more clients because
For sure.
at the first stage, you're trying to understand their vision and really what they want their home or whatever to look like. And you're
Exactly.
taking notes and telling them, okay, what about this, that, this, that. and then you're prompting Midjourney or any AI, and you're telling them, is this something similar to what you guys have in mind?
Exactly.
And they're like, yeah, you understand us. Yeah, okay,
Yes.
I like this approach.
Even though, you know what, it's crazy because we never really needed it before. Like last year, I never needed AI to, you know, to assess anyone or to understand a client or whatever. But now that we have it, we might as well, I think we might as well use it. I like keeping up with new technology.
So we can say that AI is translating your client's visions.
In a way, or at least it's helping making it quicker.
And then you're making sure that they get the best out of all the outcomes that they're looking for. And it's serving you guys as a brief, as a ground, as a baseline for your project.
Kind of a mood board for us as well. It's easy to create mood boards on it, easy to create the conceptual designs. Just like any beginning stages of design, I think it would help a lot.
Interesting. Nice. I like it. Well done on that. So, okay. I know you're not, but as campaigns, as marketing initiatives, did SMAD do anything other than the referrals, networking, and stuff like that?
What kind of campaigns do you mean?
I don't know. Did you create like I don't know, an awareness campaign showcasing your company? You involved any storytelling in it, telling your story, showing the Qatari market or the Middle East region? What is SMAD? Who's Sara Mardini? What did they achieve? Did you really tap into the...
We haven't actually.
Okay.
We've only done minor social media marketing, not really campaigns, just regular marketing. And so far, like I said, we've only kind of we've only needed whatever we've done up to this point. But I know for sure that if we're ever to completely expand, there is no way without proper marketing and a proper campaign. I was just like boosting or whatever, all that. I know for sure, and that's definitely coming up soon. I'm kind of in the beginning stages of working on something. But yeah, it takes time. Honestly, I think with me, things are a bit slower because we're actually really busy. And at the same time, I'm trying to expand. You know, it's not like sometimes, you know, maybe you don't have clients for a few months. You can kind of chill out and like think about other things or plan out your other things or whatever. For me, it's a bit different because we're actually really busy, like on a daily basis. That's what's making it a bit slower for me.
If you look at it from this point of view, yeah, you might say it's slower, but if you look at it from the other side, if you're busy and you have clients and you have good projects and you're reaching your yearly objectives or monthly objectives or I don't know your next phase, then you're on the road. You're taking the right choices, and I don't advise you to really burn steps or really I want to grow the team like exponentially in the next month and I want to get 100 clients, because you lose this special touch or
100%.
this human touch or Sara Mardini's touch that you are implementing in your company. So
Yeah.
stay at it. That's my small advice. So from freelancing to running a team now, you were telling me a lot about how you're changing hats from Sara the architect, Sara the creative, to Sara the manager, to I don't know what, the legal person, the marketing person. What were the crucial steps and decisions involved in this transition? How did you really leap from freelancing? Because you can stay freelancing all your life. There are people that are in their 60s, 70s, and they're freelancing and they're solo and working all alone. Now you're running a team. So, wow.
I think I've always been kind of, I have a bit of an ego, I guess. I'm kind of ambitious. Not kind of, I'm very ambitious. So I never liked the image of, for me, the image of being only a freelancer. I always wanted more. And even now when I have this, I want more. So that's the personality that I've always had. So yeah, I could have stayed honestly freelancing and just got outsourced help here and there, but I wanted to make it official and I wanted to see, um, like I had a vision in my head. I always had it of having a team of, I never necessarily thought I would put my face and my name, um, for the world. I don't have that in me. I don't really care about that.
Was it the ego?
Even if I do have an ego, I don't have it to the point where I need to be like a superstar. It's not like that for me. Like I said before, I'm not always a people person. Sometimes I just like to be in the background. So yeah, I think that kind of made me want to make it. And also, to be honest, my dad really pushed me a lot. He's always, even since I was literally a kid, he kind of ingrained these thoughts in my head. So whether I want or not, خلاص, they're in my head already. And even if I start to slack, my dad's always there to, like, you have to stay on it.
Watch out.
Really, he has that kind of personality to the extreme. So that always kind of pushed me as well. And also, um, a certain kind of business partner that I have who has his own contracting company, not a part of my business, but we kind of partner up on project. Has also always been, from the start we met, and he's always kind of also pushing me as well. So I think if I ever need a push, it's there from either side, either from family or from colleagues.
So I believe they've seen your potential and
Maybe.
they don't want you to really slack or
Maybe.
deviate, and they want the best for you, and this is why they might push you.
Maybe.
So that's a nice support. Sometimes it can be hectic. Can be
It's
hectic.
very hectic. Trust me, it gets annoying. But not only hectic.
Yeah, you can manage it. You can manage it.
Yeah.
You'll find a way. So, as you plan to expand into neighboring markets, what are the key factors that you consider to ensure successful growth and scalability of your operation?
So neighboring markets, it's a bit tricky because Qatar has a very specific design style that they like here. Not everyone, it's not a general thing, but I would say 70 or 80% have kind of a similar style that they like to go for. We've done projects that are completely different than others, but I'm just talking about mostly. So it's important to kind of be able to work on other things and show clients that are outside of the Qatar market that, look, yeah, we're doing this, but we can also do this. We're catering to this market, but we can also cater to your market. And that is something that we have to hopefully be talented and smart enough to do, which we are. But yeah, and it's also not easy competing with neighboring markets because honestly, there's a lot of talent out there, in Kuwait and the UAE. There's a lot of talent. So it's not easy, but like from what happened to me so far, all it takes is one client, one project, and then the ball gets rolling. So that's it.
Would you see it like let's I know you like sports, and let me give you an example. Were you playing in the small fields, and now you're moving on to the bigger courts and competing at the higher ranking?
That's exactly how it is. Yeah. I do recognize how blessed we are to kind of be in a smaller market. But I also recognize that
Because it has a lot of benefits, by the way. Like you were
exactly.
mentioning it was easier for you to penetrate that market and to get some projects and to do well in it.
So yeah, I'm very thankful, and I recognize the blessing that it is to work in a kind of smaller market. But it's also the thing about smaller markets is that you don't feel the competition. So sometimes, or maybe certain certain companies, you tend to kind of like, you know, lay back and relax, like, halas, we have work, we're good. So that's the struggle of, like, that's the thing that we shouldn't kind of be stuck in, and that is something that I sometimes experience, and then I have to like remind myself. And by the way that I remind myself about all of these things is that I work on a system of like almost monthly and quarterly targets rather than working on a yearly like target or targets or whatever goals. Because I think yearly goals make me personally, they make me lazy. Like, let's say by the end of the year, I need to have done this. Okay, I have time, I have time, I have time. But when it's like the clock is ticking and you don't really have time anymore, I need this to be done end of the month or end of this first quarter. You know, that for me is what keeps me on my toes with work. So, for example, this second quarter will end in June. So I still have targets that are like not done, and that, so now like end of May and June are very busy for me because I'm trying my best to at least accomplish some of them. And some of them are like the thing that I said about expanding.
Second quarter is ending in few days. Are you ready? Did you
A
achieve?
few days or in June?
No, it's 3 months. So the third quarter we start.
June.
Sorry.
April, May, June.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. My bad. I miscalculated.
You mean it's
So yeah, it's nearing the end. So
I know, exactly. So that's why I'm saying June is definitely hectic for me. And I have lots of like things planned out already. I think my full month is already planned out from now.
I just remembered like this example where I used to be in school. I knew that I have the test like in a week, and I won't study till the last night.
Exactly. So
you tend to do this at work, leave it till the last second.
later. Yeah. But I really like try to read up on this and study this issue a lot because I really hate that about myself. And I think for me though, the strategy that worked the most is what I told you about, like putting short-term goals, not yeah. In January when when New Year and you say, you know, end of 2024, I want to be really fit. I want to be all that. I want to make so much money, whatever.
You don't
And
do
then a
anything.
month later, you forget about it, right? So the key to that is not to say end of 2024. Just put smaller targets. Maybe if monthly works for you or quarterly works for you, then for me, that's what works. And so that's what's happening for me. And it's been helpful, very helpful.
Yeah. So, like, I want to conclude the business section where we dived into SMAD, your journey. So, what business lessons have you learned that are specific to the architectural sector that might not be as apparent in other fields? What they're like specifics?
Specific. I think it's more so technical lessons, you know, because architecture is something, like I said, it takes a lot of time. Like it takes time to build a villa. So the design at the start, the design takes a few months, and the design has its own struggles and issues with clients and whatever. But then the real issues start when you actually start building. And that takes at least, let's say, you won't see anything proper before a year. So, first of all, you have to be really patient. And second of all, learning, I try to, or even with my team, I try for all of us to kind of learn the technical things that happen on site as much as we can, because it takes a year to see it properly. So you have to kind of make the most of it when it's happening, right? So, especially me, I've not. Well, I've been in the field for how long? 5.5 years. So technically, I'm obviously not someone that's very old in the sense of the architecture world, you know? Um, I'm someone that hasn't seen probably, um, it's different when you have my kind of experience level and the kind of experience level of someone who's maybe they're 6 years old now. They've seen so many houses being built. They know all the technical things. They have everything by heart. It takes a while to actually see all of this in our field. So I try to make the most of it when it's happening, especially when things are on site are happening. I want to understand everything that's happening, how this is being built on this, whatever. Yeah, and I try as much as I can to involve myself with site work. For example, recently, my team and I, we took a full-on woodworks or joinery package for a big villa, and that's only a small part of the villa. That's not even, it's just the wood and the cladding and the, whatever we have that's within. So that alone made me kind of learn a lot about that specific thing. So that only makes me kind of think about all the other things that we, still don't know. And it's definitely not my expertise being a designer, but learning technical things and site things also really helps you design more properly. So that is kind of, I guess.
I really like your approach and how aware are you about your current status and your
Yeah.
expertise, and you know where you are at and where are you headed, because a lot of new entrepreneurs might fall into the trap of I know it all, and they go on with like, I own the market, I know everything, it's my time to shine, and
Yeah.
there's only me. So yeah, learn from your competition as well. And I really, yeah, I missed the point of highlighting it previously, because you were mentioning something about your competitors at the market, and there's no really bad competition. It's always positive competition. And if you don't have the competition, it will not push you to be better and to become better and to offer a better service or a product. So I really like the aspect of awareness or consciousness that
Yeah.
you have, and yeah, don't let the ego run the show. So
Never. Never.
don't dismiss it at all, but yeah, that's cool. So reflecting now on your journey so far, what is one piece of advice you'd give to architects or any solopreneurs or people that are transitioning into the entrepreneurship world, who are contemplating taking the leap? So what is your piece of advice?
Okay. I think I have like a couple of small pieces of advice. I would say the first thing is when you do something, do it to perfection. You don't have to be uh what's it called? A perfectionist, or you don't have to be uh, really like someone that overworks or whatever. But even if it's a small task, do it to perfection. That's always been my way of thinking about everything. Even if it's something in my personal life, whatever. I think that helps the most
Mhm.
when you really put your heart in something. And then the second thing that's how I am, and that's how I think it works for me. Take calculated risk. So I know a lot of people or a lot of entrepreneurs are they have a mentality of like, yeah, go all in and like take a risk, just do it, just quit, whatever. But I would say
What was the calculated risk, Sarah?
a calculated risk. So when I quit my job, I think that was a calculated risk at the time. At the time, the way I thought about it, I had an average salary. I didn't have a crazy high salary. So I had an average salary for one. Number two, my father lives in Qatar. So if there's any issue, maybe not everyone has that luxury, but for me, I thought about that as well. And number three, honestly, I know what I'm capable of. I know that I'm not only a good designer, I'm also capable of like being a business person, even though it's not my background. So with all of that in mind, I quit. Even if I didn't have a concrete plan B, I did take a risk, but it's not like I quit an amazing job that like comes to you once in a lifetime. And then I said, I'll just count on God to, no, it's not like that. So I think it's very important to take calculated risk.
Nice. So, calculated risk is your advice for everyone that is transitioning or
Yeah.
taking the leap. Think specific to architects.
To architects, I would say try to, well, if you're still employed, try to kind of learn as much as you can, especially with the new things. Try to like be on site as much as you can, because if you're only designing, you're very unlikely to learn at a fast pace. If you're only designing, it's easy to just create something super nice and then throw it at the contractor and let them handle it. It's always better when you actually know what's going to be built and know how it's going to be built. So that's very important, I would say, for all kinds of designers. And then I would say for architects that are like they've become employees now, I would say have patience with your team, because I think being a good manager really, like, it's very important, because we've all had bad managers and it affects our daily performance, it affects your mental health, so it's really the worst having a bad manager. So I would say try to be good managers.
Are you a good manager?
I think so. I think I'm at least
Trying,
and I never try to, like, I never
self-assess your managerial skills.
I do. I try to, but also I make sure not to, if I'm having a bad day, I don't, like
First on the thing.
I don't I don't know, I don't start yelling or going crazy if someone makes a tiny mistake. So yeah. So being a patient and good manager with your team, I think that's very important. And also pick the people around you properly. Like, be smart about how you pick the people around you.
Nice. Thank you for these advices. If you have any last words, please go ahead before we wrap up.
Nothing. I just want to thank you for your time, and it's been lovely talking to you. And I look forward to seeing the podcast or the episode online and your future episodes as well.
Thanks so much, Sarah. Thanks for being on this episode, and see you soon in Dubai, hopefully.
For sure.
Best of luck in Index next week, and looking forward to see what's in store for Smart and in your expansion plan. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.